She was 13 years old and stood on a stage that was well lit. Her voice was rough and angry. People in the crowd were quiet as Courtney Hadwin put all of herself into the song. No one thought that a little girl from County Durham would be able to make a full American theater shake in just seconds. Today, we'll talk about her amazing rise, the event that changed her life forever, and the sadness that came after her dream. Stay with me as I tell you about every turn and twist in Courtney Hadwin's life, from her hopeful tryout to her heartbreaking accident. You'll learn how her spirit got her through the worst time of her life. That girl on stage didn't seem scared, but what pain did that strong voice hide? Who was Courtney Hadwin when she wasn't famous? A little girl with big dreams. Courtney Hadwin was born on May 6, 2004, in the English town of Hesleden, in the county of Durham. Her parents are Anne Marie Hadwin and Paul Hadwin. Her folks work hard, and even when they were busy, they always made time to help her develop her musical skills. Courtney first heard soul music when she was very little. Different well-known singers were played by her mother. She loved music from a very young age, and this helped her improve her singing. She learned how to hum and tap her foot to different tunes and strong rhythms. They could dance with her hands up in the air when they played music in the house when she was 3 years old. They were so happy about how much she loved music. They loved seeing her put on little shows around the house. The school set her up with singing classes. At 8 years old, her music teacher told her that she had a beautiful voice and a special depth to it. She was told by her teacher to join the school band. With each song she sang, the weekly practice in the school hall made her feel better about herself. Being on stage with her friends at assembly made her feel proud. Friends at school called her Rocker Girl because she could sing and dance at the same time. Being in front of a crowd has never scared her because she is very sure of herself. She liked to sing. Courtney Hadwin cared a lot about her art. She always went to her music classes. So she could reach the highest note in her voice, she learned to pay attention to how she breathed. Before school, she would work on her vocal scales in front of the mirror in her bedroom. When she was that young, she would even write songs. She got a group of kids from the neighborhood to sing and play when she was 10 years old. They were known as Durham Soul. In many ways, their parents helped them. In fact, they helped pay for guitars and drums for them. A few people could get together to watch and sing along. People around her started to notice how talented she was. A short story was written by a writer from a local newspaper about a young singer with an amazing voice. It said, "A young girl brings soul to County Durham." That piece made Courtney's folks proud and made her feel like her voice was heard. Shotton Hall Theater School was another place she went to get trained. Every Saturday and Sunday, Anne Marie drove her to practice. She learned how to control her tone and phrase from the piano teacher she found there. Courtney learned how to change the sound of her voice to fit the mood of each song. Her goal became to show how she felt through sound. A small event in Durham City was her first real stage. A lot of people showed up to watch. At first, being under those lights made her feel uneasy. She quickly focused and felt better about herself. Everyone cheered for her when she ended singing the last song. People cheered even though they didn't know her name because her voice was so beautiful. A lot of her friends and even some of her classmates asked her to sing at neighborhood events and birthday parties. Being in front of a small group of people she knew helped her learn how to use music to talk about how she felt. Every time she chose a song, it had words that made her feel something. That choice made every song beautiful and fun to listen to. By the time she was 12, her dreams were bigger than the town where she lived. They gave her pocket money, which she saved. It was her wish to help them pay for her plane tickets. She became hopeful when she thought about sharing her gift on a bigger stage. She wrote down the things she wanted to accomplish late at night. This kid was gifted from birth, which made her unique. It's there for me. Sure, you can. Having family and friends there for me made every step easy. She was always told by her mother to work hard, be polite, and keep her eye on the prize. She thought about those words as she got ready to go on a trip far away from home. The first part of her story began with her dreams of a bigger world beyond Hesleden. She was just a kid with a dream in a bag. But would America see her gift? Or would they forget about her in the crowd? What did she do when she finally got on stage? People all over the world were shocked when 13-year-old Courtney Hadwin got off a plane in Omaha, Nebraska in the summer of 2018. She had a small bag, a leather jacket, and a strong will. She had never been to the U.S. before. She had one goal in mind: getting on America's Got Talent. Family and friends had warned her about jet lag and told her to get a lot of rest after landing. Courtney was both happy and nervous when she got to the CenturyLink Center the morning of her audition. In the waiting area, hopeful dancers and singers worked out in small groups. Staff, behind the scenes, picked names at random, leaving candidates to wait in silence for their turn. Courtney Hadwin had her audition form in one hand and her hat in the other. As the producers led her up the stage down a tight hallway, she took a deep breath. There were bright lights on the judges' table. Simon Cowell, Heidi Klum, Howie Mandel, and Mel B didn't cheer for any of the acts until the very end. The crowd went silent when Courtney walked to the middle of the stage. She wore dark pants, a white shirt, and a small black leather jacket. Around her shoulders, her hair fell in loose waves. There was silence in the hall as the band played the first chords of "Piece of My Heart." Her voice was soft at first. She shut her eyes and felt her heart beat. Her real power came out all at once. Her voice cracked with want and power. She moved like a singer twice her age as she kicked her foot to the beat. Every note had heart and grit. Simon leaned forward and raised an eyebrow. Heidi sat up straight and had her eyes wide open. Howie put his hand over his mouth to hide how surprised he was. Mel B tapped the table with her fingers, ready for more. The theater erupted in cheers when the last chord was played. Judges' people stood up and praised her amazing performance. When Simon pressed his button, a red light flashed across the stage, making it a very special moment. Courtney opened her eyes. She grabbed her hat when she saw Simon smile. She looked first at the judges and then at her mother, who was crying happy tears behind the scenes. She was given a microphone by a producer for a short chat. She said in a shaky voice, "I love to sing. It makes me feel free." People were moved by how simple her answer was. That same night, a video of her act went viral on social media. It had more than 10 million hits on YouTube by morning. News sources like the New York Times and BBC wrote about her and called her the voice of a teen Janis Joplin. The headlines praised her fierce style and raw power. In her village of Hesleden, newspapers had front-page stories about how she had taken America by storm. Courtney was asked to come back the next day for a more private tryout. In front of a glass wall, she met the judges and other applicants again. The song she sang was an original that her vocal coach, Laura, wrote called Heart and Soul. Even though there weren't any full stage lights on, her voice made everyone in the room feel something. Simon praised her choice for being creative, a song that showed how she felt. That moment was very important. He told her, "You're not just copying anyone. You are yourself." The judges promised that she would go straight to the live shows. She left the audition room with a group of other actors who all congratulated her and gave her hugs. Courtney said in interviews that she missed her family and friends, but she also said that she felt like she belonged on the America's Got Talent stage more and more. That night, she got a lot of texts. People from all over the world became her new fans and praised her on many social media sites. From as far away as Japan and Brazil, people wrote to thank her for sharing her songs. "Your voice makes me feel alive," wrote one fan. "You remind me of my daughter," wrote another. Courtney Hadwin was so happy that she couldn't hold back her tears. She knew that her singing had touched people she would never meet. Videos of her audition kept getting a lot of hits over the next few weeks. People were asked to appear on talk shows. She was asked to sing on live TV by The Today Show. By taking classes online, she was able to balance her schoolwork with the ongoing project. Her folks were there for her, who helped her do the tricks. In every conversation, she talked about singing instead of her fame. In England, she went from singing in her hometown choir to an audition with a standing ovation in the U.S. This showed how talented and brave she was. She worked hard at her art, and that was her best shot. That interview was when everyone found out about Courtney Hadwin. Things changed after that. Courtney Hadwin had found her big moment on America's Got Talent. Overnight hit. By the time the live shows began, Courtney Hadwin was more than just a participant. She was the talk of the town. People